Waterlogged tents as far as the eye can see. Europe's biggest refugee camp is getting ever bigger. Some estimates now say up to 15,000 people are living in the mud and filth on the Greek-Macedonian border. After touring the camp, the EU's top immigration official described it as an insult to our civilization. Himdia Asala from Aleppo struggled to contain her frustration.
ومعي حدي مريض حاجة جايته جلطة زاد بالأكثر مريض ومتفرجي عليه شلون بيرك ما عم بقدر اتحرك شوفي اخذت له حفوضات يعني حالتنا صارت سيئة لنا 25 نار يعني تقريبا بيركين حرام افتحوا لنا الباب.
And as the Balkan route remains blocked, authorities say there is a sharp increase along the Libyan route, especially as the weather gets warmer and the seas calmer. Today, some 500 migrants were rescued at sea. Just over the past 2 days, the Italian Coast Guard saved about 2,500 people. The numbers mark a dramatic increase in operations in the Straits of Sicily. Still unable to agree, European leaders arrived in Brussels for another 2-day summit to discuss the migration crisis, which saw more than 1.2 million migrants arrive in Europe last year. The British Prime Minister keen to stress we will not be taking any extra migrants.
We've already said what we're going to do in terms of taking Syrian refugees to Britain, and that's underway, and we won't be taking more because of what's discussed here today. But if we could get an agreement that returned migrants from the Greek islands to Turkey, that would be good progress.
Under the so-called one-for-one deal, for every Syrian refugee just across the water there in Turkey behind us who gets resettled here in Europe, a Syrian refugee from here in Greece goes back across the Aegean. Now, when all this was apparently arranged 10 days ago, the figures were vague. Since then, though, it's emerged that the EU is apparently only prepared to take 72,000 such people all up, and there is no commitment yet beyond that figure. Further places may be available under a voluntary separate scheme, but this would require a change to EU law, and getting all 28 member states on board is a tall order, as the EU summit chairman has acknowledged.
Only if we all work together in a coordinated manner and keep our cool, we will achieve success. I am cautiously optimistic, but frankly speaking, more cautious than optimistic.
But charities say the controversial plans are against European and international law. Amnesty called the deal shameless.
We're telling EU leaders that they should actually realize refugees are humans and not merchandise, and they should not go into trading in human lives with human lives.
So the politicians gather in Brussels, ever divided, behind the curve and chasing events here on the ground, or rather on the sea in the eastern Aegean. It's sunset, and once again this vessel is heading out its mission to rescue migrants and refugees from these perilous waters. For some days, very few people have come across from Turkey to Greece because of gales. The winds are now subsiding. Guess what that means? Alex Thomson, Channel 4 News, Samos.